No? Okay. I'm live. I'm going to share this link out. All right. We're live. Cool. All right. Sucks. Wi-Fi. What you gonna do about it, you know? So this episode is about WandaVision, and its reactions that I've had. Well, the reactions I've had watching the series and theories and things like that. I'm also making this video for people who aren't hardcore Marvel fans, and they need to get caught up to speed on some things. And then I know like my dad who watches the MCU but like doesn't understand all the things that are connected to it and things like that. So it's like I really have to be like, this means this, and this. So this video is also for people like you guys. I also plan on doing this for other things, connecting stuff to and from, especially in the anime and manga world. There are a lot of parents who have kids who watch anime. I'm a teacher by trade, and me and my kids spent a whole class period just talking about anime, and I'm sure none of their parents get it. So, you still have to be mindful of what you're letting your kids watch. When it comes to things like that, I will be dropping parental guides on not only, the violence levels, but the subject matter, the fan service, and the how much skin and the topics. Sometimes just it's a wholesome looking anime, but the level of discussion on it is really, really deep, like Death Note. A lot of people haven't seen it. Well, not a lot of people. It's a common anime thing, but it's a lot of people's first anime. So if you don't want your kids watching something, what's it talking about? Death, mass murder, and true intentions of justice, you don't need to be watching Death Note, or you shouldn't let your kids watch Death Note. I watched it in college, so that was fine. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Marvel and WandaVision, I love it. My original plan was to upload episode by episode recaps, but life has happened, being a teacher this semester and everything. So I'm going to recap episodes 1 through 6. Well, not recap because it's still really soon and I hate spoiler people. So I'll give it a few months before I do individual episode recaps. But I love it. I love the train of thought that Marvel is going in. It's a great way to introduce certain aspects that have been out by the wayside. I do want to shout out Rob's Comics Explained and Comic Storian. I watched their things all the time, just kicking it, binging it, learning more things about Marvel and DC and Dark Horse and all other. They just talk about comics, which is great. So with WandaVision, my initial reaction, I do like it. A lot of people said wait till episode 4 for it to kick in. For me, it kicked in at episode 3. I was very lost initially with not the television aspect part, but that they were remodeling it after Bewitched and other shows that are way before my time, like way out there. So I didn't understand a word about anything. I like the commercials. I saw a theory on TikTok that each commercial represents something traumatic in Wanda's life, and it makes sense. It does. When I do the episode recaps, I'll go into it one by one. But that theory does check out. I appreciate that they are moving up the timetable of the television every decade, like every episode, because I don't get it. I finally understood episode 6 I just watched. Um, it was shot with the '90s style, so it felt like Malcolm in the Middle type of Even Stevens type feel. Um, so that fit in a lot better. Things people who aren't like fans know about, that's one of her original costumes. That's something that some people might know, and I think Visions as well. Um, Tying it into Marvel content itself, uh, their Wanda, Scarlet Witch is her comic book superhero name. I don't think they've given it to her, and they actually addressed that in one of the episodes. Like, what's her silly name? He's like, I don't think she has one. Um, she is a what's called a beyond Omega level mutant. She has the power to warp reality. If you're watching the show, you get a glimpse of this. But Scarlet Witch has legit written her own. She's done her own Thanos snap. She is powerful enough to take Thanos on one-on-one. I think they've been said that in the MCU, but like the fans know that. Like she could have ended him, and for some reason didn't in the movie. Infinity War and Endgame don't upset me. Like, I get it, Marvel, you did what you had to do with the characters you had, but also knowing the true Infinity War, like knowing that comic book timeline, that storyline, and the movie, they're different. And so I have to consistently separate them, knowing that they're different. But it's okay. I enjoy them both. But I do want to see the original Infinity Wars. I want to see the original Civil War. Civil War was a far darker comic storyline than what the movie portrayed, and Civil War 2 was just traumatic. My current theories for the show, I don't know. I don't know where it's going. Episode 6. So I had my one theory. I had two in the beginning. It was like either and this is spoilers, so if you don't want to watch this, nobody's watching this live right now, but like if you want to skip later on to when I tie in the rest of the Marvel content to it, then you can. So I'll just do my theories now. I had a theory that either Wanda was doing this herself or someone was forcing her to do it, because Marvel tends to just pick a villain and just be like, this one will fit in this role. So it could have been a whole list of villains who were doing this to Wanda. Turns out my first theory was right. Wanda's doing it herself. She is doing it subconsciously, according to the last episode. Meh. So I don't know what my current theory would truly be. I do think they are planning on using this to tie in the X-Men acquisition that they have with all the characters. I'm very excited about that, and excited about it's either a Doctor Strange or a Spider-Man movie, but it's like Benedict Cumberbatch who's Doctor Strange. I call it the Sam Raimi trilogy. People do. He directed it. But Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield from The Amazing Spider-Man, and Tom Holland. So all three Spider-Mans, they've been like casted into whatever Marvel movie that is. And it's called like multi-dimensional something. So a lot of the fans are like really, really, and I'm really excited because I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I have everything, and I have seen all of it except the Drake Bell Spider-Man. I'm gonna get to it eventually. So my theory is it got thrown to the wind with this episode. I thought she was doing it on purpose, and she was just like, y'all leave me alone. I'm gonna stay over here. I thought she was gonna go the whole Magneto route with Genosha. So not in the movies, but in the comics and in some of the TV shows, Magneto is just like, you know what? Bump all this racism against mutants. I'm gonna just take me and my people, and we're gonna go over here. And he made a whole island country, and they just. I was gonna say they be vibing, but also it's Magneto, so sometimes he's the villain, so sometimes it's not a vibe, but also it's nice. It's nice when it needs to be. One of the X-Men cartoons I watched growing up, they were very suspicious of it. And so like Nightcrawler went and Nightcrawler was like, oh my God, look, mutants are accepted. People are using their powers openly and there's peace. Turned out it was a lie, but hey. So that's my theories. My last thing, what you need to know, and so 10:53, cool. If you what you need to know, what you need to have watched to understand um WandaVision. You need to have watched in the MCU Captain Marvel, Ant-Man 2, and obviously everything with Wanda and Vision in it. So Ultron, Civil War, and then Endgame and Infinity War. Yeah. And then you need to watch Age. I don't know what to call that trilogy, but the new X-Men or the latest X-Men trilogy with Michael Fassbender and Apocalypse is the third one. Days of Future Past and First Class. Those three you need to watch to understand episode 5. So yeah. Other things that help tie into the Marvel, understanding the Marvel content is understanding that in the comics there is a storyline called House of M, and I still haven't gone all the way through House of M. I thought the M stands for Magneto because it really ends up being about Wanda, and Wanda and Quicksilver are not orphans. In the comics, they are actually Magneto's children. I think they're still twins though. They're definitely brother and sister. Um, Same powers, but they're just Magneto's kids directly. Her power, she is the Reality Stone. Honestly, um, she something was happening. She mentally created. I'm getting ahead of myself. So there's what I call the No More Mutants block, and then there's another block right before No More Mutants. Um she pulls a genie and grants everyone's wishes. So people were living in harmony. Wolverine was with Mystique and they were shield agents, and there was no more um racism between mutants and humans, and it was great. Actually, it wasn't that. It was more like it was flipped. So superhuman heroes and supervillains were in the majority and not the minority, and they were famous, and it was something like to be known and known and recognized for. Spider-Man, everyone knows is Peter Parker, and him and his kid are like front cover of a newspaper, and there's like popularity charts and all this stuff. So in this thing, um, Wolverine knows what's up because his mind is always being erased and whatever else because he's Wolverine. So he knows what's up. And there's this little girl whose mutant power like awakens people's real memories and stuff. And throughout this timeline, um, they go and they like get people's real memories, and they get Peter Parker and She-Hulk and Daredevil and like all the people. Oh, and Hawkeye knows what's up because in the timeline before this, so this is like Wanda's first altered reality, he was dead. Don't know why. Never really looked into the comics So he was dead, and then this new one, he is brought back to life. So he knows like everything. So the heroes then get to this discussion of what do we do about Wanda, because yes, everyone's happy, but no one, this isn't our universe. And Marvel really has these plot lines, these themes that aren't talked about in the movies or in the TV shows as heavily as they could be, because they very dark. They can lead to some very deep thinking, and I don't think, you know, the high levels of thinking can be really sold for much profit. I'm gonna do a comic. I'm gonna do a comparison between the Civil War and then Civil War and then Civil War Two. Real quick snippet about Civil War Two. That there's a mutant who like can predict the future, and it's like, can you arrest somebody for a crime they haven't committed yet? So, and that split the universe or the superheroes down a thin line. And Civil War One, it was the same thing. Should we be registered as superheroes? Do they need to know our identity? Do we submit to a government authority? And pretty much broke out the same way, but far deadlier in the comics. Whew. Anyways, so in this, they have this talk, and it's like, all right, well, we have to kill Wanda because this isn't our universe. I don't know who voted and how they came to this decision. So then all of these people are like, let's go to Genosha's, and so they hop over to Genosha. Wanda has given herself twins, just like Billy and Tom. Yeah. So like she mentally made herself twins. I don't know if she like gave herself a husband or if she really is with Vision in the comics or not. But something happens, and she breaks down again, and then the last 3 words of that comic, I believe, are no more mutants. And she rewrites the whole timeline again and takes away everyone's powers, except for like a couple of people. And so then there's a whole thing with that. So Wanda is super powerful. There's a lot of things from that are getting tied into the twins, the original costumes. Sword. I don't know. It might be in Agents of Shield, which I haven't binged all the way yet. Shield does like a PR, we're not the same organization type of deal, I think. To me, it reminds me of like Bell South and AT&T, or was it Singular? Same company, same group of people, same government stuff happening. That's one thing. Sword, the costumes, the twins, and then all the stuff from the commercials. Like if you watch stuff, the more you watch, the more things like click in. So I think the first one was a Stark radio, and not only is it a nod to her origin stories in the MCU, but it's also a nod to, I think, the Stark Expo, where Captain America was first introduced. Stark's been doing expo, like Howard Stark was doing these expos before Tony Stark did the expos. And so I'm pretty sure like that radio was, or was it a toaster? Something. Was in one of those expos, or at least in a picture somewhere. So the writers of the MCU are really great. They don't let anything go to chance. That's why I say you don't have to watch Ant-Man and Wasp, but if you do, you're going to get a real kick out of the introduction of one of the characters. If you watch Captain Marvel, you're really going to understand stuff. And I thought they were gonna let it fly under the radar with her and her origin story, but not in episode 6. The dude just flat out called her out on it. So yeah, and that's it. That's it for WandaVision's episode 1 through 6. It's really great. Can't wait for next Friday. I have more stuff coming out. I have the carpool karaoke. I'm gonna do a Star Wars video soon, especially with everything going on with Mandalorian and things. And I have a Wonder Woman. Excuse me. I have a Wonder Woman recap that I think I'm gonna edit. I saw the movie. DC, we gonna fight, and that's all I'm gonna say on that on this thing because this is about Marvel. I'm very excited. I think the next show, based on just like the commercials that are coming out, would be Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Just because I think that's the only one with a full commercial out right now. But I'm here for it, and as they drop episodes, I will have recaps for them. So let me know if you like this, if I need to do more, if I need to explain all of the MCU, tie in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and tie in what's the other stuff? Like Agent Carter. If you haven't seen Agent Carter, some of the stuff for Howard Stark and Captain America don't make complete sense. So she had a one-shot movie, and then she had like a little mini series, about the origins of Shield. So I mean, there are all these things that I can talk about, and it doesn't have to just be Marvel. I'll watch the DC stuff, but right now I'm extremely and highly disappointed with DC. And then of course the anime stuff is coming. I might do some of it in cosplay. We'll see. So thanks for checking out my channel. Thanks for watching this video. Typical YouTuber stuff, like and subscribe, yada yada. And more videos to come. See ya.